members play with riddles and things like that. So it'll be really fun. And so if you wanted to play with us, you can go to the Monterey Bay Aquarium website. So montereybayaquarium.org/loteria, and you can download your own tabla. So we have 6 different tablas, and on there we have all of our different animals. Oh, you can't really see my paper, but that's okay because there's one right behind me. And you'll be able to download all of the tablas that we have there. And if you go all the way down, you might see a nice little page. There's all of our playing material, and there's also how to play at home. So you can print out your card there, or you can even do it digitally. I know a couple of my players here are going to be doing it digitally. And then we'll also all sort and choose which tabla we want to use. And then whoever wins the game is going to yell Loteria really loud with excitement. You get bragging rights for the rest of the day. And so from there, in order to win the game, you are going to either win 3 across, 3 diagonal, or 3 vertical. And so right through there is how we'll play our Loteria game.
Sounds awesome. So I'm just troubleshooting a little bit of tech over here. It seems like the Kelp Forest Cam has decided to stop once we went live over here in our restream. But to play along at home, y'all can go to our Kelp Forest Cam page, and you'll be able to watch it there. So yeah, if you just want to vamp a little bit more about how to play the game, while I see if I can figure out how to solve this this tech issue on my end.
Karina.
Yeah.
Keep going, Karina.
Yes, LD?
Yep.
Yeah, I just wanted to point out for those Spanish-speaking folks that are joining us today, también hablamos español y vamos a estar participando, describiendo uno de los animales y dándoles esa información acerca de la lotería, pero en nuestra versión.
Sí, y vamos a tener todos los tablas en inglés y español. So right behind me, you can see el tiburón. And then right below, it says Leopard Shark. Let me go lower. Or La Vieja de California over my shoulder as well. So we can start going through some of these animals. So we have, if anyone wants to jump in and start with their favorite animal that's on some of our tabletas.
I've got great news, everybody. It's now working in our streaming software, everybody. Yeah, that was on my end.
Go, Patrick.
So here, let me just show the folks the playing field here. Let me just transition that. All right. Look at that Kelp Forest Cam, and we've got our tabla right there.
There we go. Yay! And Karina, I know we had talked about this amongst ourselves a little bit before we jumped in of what we're looking for on our. Oh no! Okay. There it goes. I'm hiding behind my tablet. What are we looking for when we play our Loteria game?
Yeah, so you're going to be looking to make sure that you get 3 across on your tabla, or 3 diagonal on your tabla, or 3 horizontal on your tabla. And so that's going to be how we will win on this game. And remember to make sure that you yell Loteria, very excitement. Remember, the rest of the day, you guys will all have bagging rights. We all have a group chat, so I'm pretty sure we'll be making sure we all feel really great. But I want to make sure that we all have nuestra tabla. So I'm going to have tableta number 3, número 3. What are you going to have, LD?
My tabla is going to be number 5, número 5.
Nice. Christy, what do you have?
And I have tabla número 2, number 2.
Yasmin, what tabla are you going to have?
I have tabla 4, number 4.
All right. And Emily?
I have tabla número 6, number 6 over here.
Nice. And for everybody watching at home, on the screen over to this side is tabla número 1. So we're hopefully going to wind up number 1. All y'all watching at home, you're playing with that one there. But it's not competitive at all, right, Karina? It's not.
This number 6
No,
last is going to be first.
We'll see about that.
Place over here.
So let's talk a little bit about the animals that we have on nuestro tablas. So we have el roquete, cobrición. We have el tiburón liberondo. And then we also have la pescara, and la jaquete Garibaldi, el cachillo, la estrella, and then we have la vieja de California y la señorita California. I think I missed one. I only counted 8.
Well-
Estrella, tal vez.
La estrella. Yes, that's the one I think I missed.
Estrella murciélago. Yeah.
Nice.
All right, I have it here. I have all 9 of them, I promise, guys.
All
Remember the
right.
Shuffle. I don't want you cheating, okay?
I won't. I have tableta number 3.
Well, looking good, everybody. Let's see. I'll transition us over, and then Curtis, who is on the cam. And if you've enjoyed our live cams, Curtis is the gentleman behind those, our webcam wizard. So, Karina, whenever you pull out that first card, he's going to try to find that animal for us, and then we can get going.
All right. So in my household, we always pull our cards from the top, from the bottom, and then the center. So if I didn't do a good shuffle, that'll be a good shuffle for us right there. All right. So our first, is everyone ready? Does everyone have what they're going to use to either cover their tabla, if they're using digital? I have my paper clips because I left my cereal
Oh, no.
outside. It's okay. I have something for later then. All right. So our first card is going to be El Cachillo. So we have giant kelp. All right. And that's going to be that whole exhibit there.
Yeah, we can see it there in the middle, that giant kelp. The Kelp Forest exhibit here, a very special exhibit. I don't know if our panel wants to talk about a favorite aspect of the kelp there while I put you up on screen and then put our little, and Curtis is zooming in, and I'll put our little logo up there.
All right. So I really like El Cachillo because every time I get to go diving or anything like that off the back deck, I get to see how beautiful and all those different animals that get to hide in there. And especially with our exhibit, you really get that motion of the ocean as you stare at it through our webcams. I find myself swaying after a while.
Awesome.
All
I
right.
was just gonna say
Go ahead.
that a lot of times in the exhibit, you just end up like either seeing people or like when I'm interpreting the exhibit and I'm standing in front of it, I'll just end up like swaying and don't even realize it because the kelp is doing that too. So.
Mm-hmm. And that swaying motion is so important for the kelp itself to grow, right, guys?
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. I really enjoy watching how the different animals in the exhibit hide and can blend in. Like some are, better at blending in because of their adaptations than others. So it's really fun to see and try to find the different animals.
Awesome. LD, what you got about the kelp forest?
Well, a mí me encanta ver todos los animales que están ahí. I love seeing all the animals. And I know Patrick is an avid diver, but personally, I've never been diving. So es lo más cerca que puedo llegar to seeing the underwater world of the ocean. And I know kelp is a super fast grower. Anyone know exactly how fast it grows?
Yeah, in our area, the giant kelp can grow a little bit over a foot a day, but in some of the best conditions down further south, it's been known to grow about 2 feet in a day. Our kelp in the exhibit about 4 inches in a day. So we actually have to go in and give it haircuts, which I imagine a lot of people at home are aware of haircuts now being a very important and sometimes a complex thing to do. So kelp haircutter is something that some of our staff does as well. Awesome. Well, very cool. We got the kelp. Nice.
All right. So our next one is La Chavoy de Norte. So we have the anchovy.
We got the anchovy
Northern anchovy.
Nice.
All right.
Let me put our little pebble up there. Anyone have anything about the anchovy? Everybody's being so polite. Nobody wants to hop in. Nobody wants to hop in and just. I need everyone to be a little bit more aggressive at claiming airtime. They're not your friends right now. They are your active competitors.
Well,
being
it's just
so competitive.
Yeah, it's just kind of cool how anchovies are really one of the main sources of food for a lot of the animals in the ocean, and they feed on phytoplankton and zooplankton. So it's interesting. They're tiny, but they're mighty, right? Because they're maintaining a lot of the organisms in the ocean. So.
And I've got a question for Yasmin. Yasmin, do you know why the anchovies swim in circles?
Because they are going to school.
Yes.
Oh, they're getting ready for pizza.
Yeah, and
Oh,
got him.
missed it.
You'll notice that these anchovies are in school and also not social distancing. So that is a few things that are different about the kelp forest than like human existence at this current juncture. Let's see. So it appears that there might be a fairly significant delay over on Facebook. Apologies over there. If you are watching on Facebook, it should rectify by the time it posts fully, just so you folks know. And if it's not working on Facebook, head over to YouTube or Twitch.
Yeah. I'm just going to say that the Twitch chat already has a pun counter going on. So that's going to be fun.
Sure do there, LD.
If the panel has any puns to share, we appreciate those as well. That's bonus points, Karina. If you're keeping track.
Perfect. All right. So our next card is El Tiburón Leopardon. So we have the Leopard Shark.
Excellent. Who's got something for the Leopard Shark?
Anyone got any?
The leopard shark is really active at night. Este tiburón es muy activo en la noche, entonces nocturno, y no es un tiburón como los que ven en las películas, como usualmente comen cosas que están en el suelo. This shark isn't a shark that you usually see like on movies that are very fierce, and it won't really like fight a person. They're floor dwellers, so they'll eat off of like what is on like the ocean bed. So yeah.
We got some great camera work going on behind you there, Yasmin, as well, with the leopard shark swimming right next to you. So that was super cool.
Oh.
Good job.
Yeah, and I was just going to throw out a question that we got over on a couple of our channels right now to all of you, kind of backing up and almost a combo question between the anchovies and our leopard shark that we are taking a look at right now. Do y'all want to explain, as I knock my microphone out of the way, explain how we can tell the difference first between a leopard shark and a swell shark, which is another kind of shark that we have living in the kelp forest, and the difference between how we can tell sardines and anchovies apart? Two amazing questions from our audience tuning in right now.
Grab it.
Do it. We believe in you.
I can do the leopard shark and swell shark. Let's start by talking about the body. El cuerpo de el tiburón leopardo está un poco más elongado. It's a little bit more elongated. You can see it swimming, being a little more active within the water column. Está nadando mucho en el exhibito. Y the swell shark, which I don't know the correct translation in Spanish, if someone could help me out with that, but it usually hangs out towards the bottom. And anyone know why they're called swell shark?
Because they're just a darn awesome shark, Luis. They're swell. It's actually because they'll swallow water to swell up if they get. Yeah, sorry, I completely, I just wanted the pun, and then I ended up taking the opportunity away from somebody else to talk. I apologize.
Okay, we're at 3 now.
We are at 3, perfect.
All right. And then for the anchovies and sardines, los anchoas and las sardinas, I know that for los sardines, van a swoosh, they're going to go side to side. And then para los anchovies, so they're going to articulate. They're going to swim around that way.
Can we see that again? I have you full screen.
So los anchovies, they're gonna swim articulating. They're gonna kind of do scissor motion throughout the while swimming around either the exhibit, and then for the sardines, they're gonna swoosh. So they're gonna go side to side.
Nice. Perfect. Thanks. That was great.
Now I'm
Nice
one with the
visual. Nice
anchovies.
visual.
Thank you, thank you. I'll be here.
No one has 3 in a row yet, right?
No, I do want to point out that
very close.
we're feeling pretty good here on tabla numero uno at the moment. If we can get el rocote, then we're gonna crush it, everybody. So fingers crossed, drum roll.
Y tabla número 2 también.
Oh,
Also,
oh,
part
uh-oh.
2.
Okay.
So,
Oh.
Tabla
watch out,
number
Patrick.
5 is just waiting for the sea star, for la estrella. And a sea
Oh,
star
this
has
this
5.
could be
Yo
it.
también, me too, me too.
No le digas, Eldi, no le digas.
All right, so our next one is gonna be La Vieja de California. So that's gonna be the sheephead.
Lotería!
Whoa! What?
Haha.
Let's see it.
You trust me, right?
Sure.
Can you
So,
see?
which tabla was that?
Tabla número 2, number 2.
You're the winners.
Anchoveta del Norte, La Vieja de California, y CACHIYUYO. Woohoo! Where's my prize?
Well, bragging rights already up here.
All right.
Oh, we were so close, number ones.
Oh, man. It's my lucky day today, huh? Día de la suerte hoy día.
We were so close, everybody. But we're gonna keep playing.
La Vieja de California is my new lucky animal from now on, at least for this week. It was the winner.
Can you tell us a little bit about La Vieja?
Sure. I think Karina was gonna tell us more about La Vieja, right?
That's right. Oh,
so I wanted to give her the space to.
I committed the
talk about
sin.
that.
I'm sorry, Karina. Oh
so
no.
Much.
The one thing.
Yeah, La Vieja de California is one of my favorite fish. Cuando están chiquitas, they're all born as ladies, and then over time they can change over to being the male. So if we get to see it on the exhibit on the webcam, it's down at the bottom, and it has oranjado down the middle, and then at the end is nice and negro on the back, and then sometimes the belly is a little bit white, and then when it's a female, they're nice and like a almost like a salmon color all throughout, and then they have at least the ones that I've been able to see on exhibits, los labios están azules, and so it's really cool to be able to see them, and you'll get to see them run by the exhibit down at the bottom.
Yeah, I just heard from Curtis, webcam operator, that sheephead was visible, but we were celebrating, and now knowing that it was being put on a spotlight, La Vieja is now on the seafloor, hiding from the webcam. So if Curtis finds it again, we'll swim after it.
We're all a little camera shy, but I do have another story for the California sheephead if y'all want to hear. This is for maybe the older folks. There's a really interesting breeding behavior for these folks. There was a study that was done off of Catalina Island where some of the sheepheads reside, and the thing they do is a bit of a dance. The male and the female will do a motion where they're dancing back and forth, and when it comes time to release their each side, they will come together and swim towards the surface in unison, and at the surface they will release their eggs and sperm. So very interesting behavior from those guys.
That's very cool. Yes. And we had La Vieja visible for just a split second there. So for you folks watching at home, you saw the male right there in the middle of the kelp forest. So great stuff. Well, I mean, I'm depressed that we've lost. I feel like I've let down all of the numero unos out there, but we're gonna keep playing. We've got more animals to talk about, right?
Yes, we do. All right, I'm shuffling here.
Should we clear our tablas?
Yes, let's clear our tablas. So we're gonna.
All right, we're gonna clear it out. I got to figure out how to do that on the tech side. Go for it, Karina. You're good.
Double click.
This is his secret to winning. He's just going to keep on playing.
Magically, it appears that we've won, everybody. We
All of them.
Es porque todos son número uno. That's why everyone's number one. All right. So most of our tablas all cleared out.
see.
Are we
Sí,
ready to start?
listos.
Okay. ¿Listos? Okay, qué bueno. So our first one is going to be La Jaqueta Garibaldi. So we have
Ooh.
Garibaldi, a nice, beautiful orange fish. Does anyone have a fun fact? ¿Alguien quiere decir algo?
The Garibaldi is one of the few fish I've been bit by out in the wild. They're very territorial. The Garibaldi are the California state marine fish, and they've got the attitude to be representative of California in the ocean. The males will be very loud. They'll bark at you underwater. And one time I got too close to a Garibaldi nest, and it came up and bit me on the forehead and almost drew blood. It was very surprising. So of all the fish in that exhibit, when I go diving in there, the ones that I've been bit by are the little goldfish that hang out on the bottom. So Curtis is trying to find us an ornery fish at the moment.
And they have an interesting nesting behavior, right? Like the males will prepare the nest and then try to attract a female. And then when they have that female's attention, then all of a sudden, all the other females will also line up and wait their turn to lay their eggs in the male's nest. And sometimes females, when they see the eggs, if they're too old, they will decide not to lay their eggs. And so sometimes the male Garibaldi will eat those old eggs.
Whoa.
So that, yeah, in the hopes that they can attract the next day or the next few days more females.
Dang.
Yeah.
That is not recommended if anyone's tuning in and wondering, what to do to impress a mate. Don't follow the Garibaldi's lead there. Wow.
All right, ready for the next one? Do we have all right. Okay.
Go for it.
So we have La Vieja de California.
They keep coming back. Huh?
It keeps coming back. That's why I went back and I said, no, I am on video. They have already seen I looked at a car. They're going to think that I did it on purpose.
Watch Christy once again.
I know. All right. The next one we have is La Vesjara. Oh, this side. The giant
Ooh.
sea bass.
Giant sea bass. That's exciting.
And we get to see
So
it.
close. Tabla number 5.
Where am I? Sorry, I'm trying to produce the show. There you go. Karina, you're up there. Anyone have anything about the giant sea bass they'd like to mention?
All that one.
Well, I'll
to
mention
see-
something. The picture that I have behind me here, I can use my tablet to make it even appear better behind me.
Oh,
Oh,
almost.
now it wants to show.
There, almost. This is a baby giant sea bass. This is actually a baby giant sea bass that grew up at the aquarium here. But you can see that it looks a whole lot different than the giant sea bass that you have on our tabla there. And the one that we have in our exhibit, and that's because they will change color. So they will change color multiple times throughout their lives. I think that this might be the cutest phase in their life that we have behind me here. The orange with the black polka dots all over its body. What you can't see are the 2 giant fins that it has just underneath it. Here, I can duck down so you can see it.
Oh, she's gone.
Goodbye, Emily.
That's a cute fish.
Anyway, yeah, it's a very, very cute fish. I think that it stays cute its entire life. Some people think that it turns into a very grumpy looking fish, but I find it even more endearing that way.
And they, oh,
Go ahead.
Go
they
ahead.
also
Yeah.
swallow they swallow their prey with one gulp. So ellos se comen su cena en solamente una mordida, todo se lo echan para adentro. So it's bien interesante. Y ellos también son uno de los animales más grandes que están en la exhibición de el cachiyuyo. They're like one of the biggest like animals that are in the Kelp Forest exhibit. So they're very recognizable in the exhibit.
Absolutely.
When they're not hiding.
Yeah, to that point, this giant sea bass that we're seeing there in the exhibit that Curtis is following around very well, she's a small giant sea bass for the folks that are there at home watching. So they get bigger, a lot bigger.
They do. She is actually pretty young. She's only in her teens right now, a teenager. Inside of our Kelp Forest exhibit. And for any fans of the live webcams out there, we do have even bigger giant sea bass that happen to live in our Monterey Bay Habitats exhibit, aka the Shark Cam.
Yeah. Great stuff.
And sometimes, especially in our Shark Cam and the Monterey Bay Habitats exhibit, pueden ver que van a cambiar color cuando están agarrando la atención del otros. So it's really cool because you'll get to see them change colors. So they kind of look like sprinkled chocolate chips. And Emily, I think you were the one that actually taught me that. We go way back. And so they'll change colors whenever they're trying to make friends with all the other giant sea basses. So it's pretty cool. And they get really excited. And sometimes they just turn all white as well, which is super cool. They do change lots of different colors.
Mm-hmm. The changes in their colors too, it's actually pretty neat. There's been very recent research done by some of our colleagues to the south of us studying giant sea bass and studying those spot patterns. And those spot patterns will actually change depending on the season because the males will actually, and you'll see it in the Monterey Bay Habitats exhibit, they'll lose their spots when it is breeding season and once they're sexually mature. So if you see them without their spots, it just means that they're trying to show off to all the ladies there. But our oldest and our largest giant sea bass in the Monterey Bay Habitats exhibit, she weighs about 250 pounds. We think that she's in her 30s or so. But she'll keep her spots versus the other two males, which will those spots will kind of fade on them during breeding season.
Nice.
That's so cool.
Great stuff.
All
Wait,
right.
that when you drop that much information, Emily, about one of these fish, that's a sea bass drop, right? When you're dropping
Yes,
that kind of
it is.
kind
It
of knowledge.
absolutely
Sorry,
is.
it had been a minute for a pun. Just I'm fulfilling my role over here on.
No, you spotted that one from a mile away there, Patrick.
Okay.
Dropping the bass.
Knowledge, the bass knowledge. Oh, and LD, sorry.
Sí, claro.
We just got a message from Lorraine saying that swell shark is tiburón oleaje.
Tiburón oleaje.
Is the term.
Qué bueno, ahora ya sabo. Now I know.
Great. And sorry, you were going to say
Good
something?
looking out.
Nothing. You guys are taking all my puns. Leave some for the rest of us.
Yes.
Yeah.
Say that we beat you to the punch.
Oh.
All right, I'm gonna head out. Guys.
Oh, Bo, no.
Come back, Kelpie, no.
All right.
You need to represent everyone that has your tabla.
No, I'm just trying to get the audience to be jelly of my.
Oh,
there we go.
Up top. See, you just gotta go with the flow, man, and you'll find them. Okay, Karina.
All right.
Move us
Ready
along.
for our next one?
Yes.
La Señorita de California.
Ooh.
So,
Lotería.
No!
Is it possible to have two? Lotería también. Is it possible to have two?
Double?
Tabla
Wait.
número 2.
I was too slow. No.
Incredible.
I let you down. Oh my God.
I don't want.
Face. I'm so sorry.
For everybody on Tabla Uno, we are just absolutely all over the place. We did not do a good job. I just want to acknowledge that for everybody. But so who had Lotería? Which tablas?
Yasmin, I think.
Oh,
Cuatro, number 4.
All right, yeah.
Número dos.
Yasmin, you first.
Número
Can you give us a victory speech here as we follow the señorita around?
Muchas gracias a todos los que escogieron la tabla número 4. Thank you to everybody who chose tabla number 4. We knew we would win.
Awesome. And Curtis is flying around looking for those señoritas right now. And then who else had the lotería there?
Tabla número dos.
And tabla número 6, I think, is all the even numbers.
What?
Yeah.
Oh no!
We obviously have the lucky cards, guys.
Yeah.
I think
Sorry.
Karina rigged this game.
I think.
What do you mean? What? They didn't give me my cafecito, eh?
No, Karina didn't forget her cereal. She gave it to all the other players as a bribe. That's what happened. That's what I think, LD. Does anyone have anything related to the señoritas that they'd like to share? And that is their name in English and in Spanish here, the señorita wrasse that we have here in the kelp forest. Anybody?
Well, they have a very small mouth and they have protruding teeth. Tienen una boca muy pequeña y los dientes se salen, que es una adaptación especial para comer las comidas que comen, que son, how do you say, bryozoans in Spanish, and hydroids. Entonces, yeah, so they have that special adaptation to feed on bryozoids and hydroids. So very small mouth with protruding teeth, and they pick their food of algae. So that's kind of cool.
Awesome.
La señorita.
La señorita. Another fish that's bit me in the kelp forest.
Oh, wow.
That's when I had...
The fish don't like you.
Well, they're a cleaner wrasse as well, so they figured that I needed some maintenance, which is not inaccurate under most circumstances. They saw a little piece of hair coming out and figured that they'd try to clean that off from me. So I appreciate the intention, but, it was rather insulting because I was actively taking a shower diving in the kelp forest exhibit. So...
Patrick, you should carry around a tabla and just start like putting little dots whenever you get bit by.
I think I could win that game pretty easily.
Pretty quickly.
Oh yeah, yeah. I don't know how a kelp bite would look, but I'm sure I could pull it off. Okay.
Lotería inside the exhibit.
We did have someone over on Twitch bring up another really fun fact about señoritas. About how they sleep at night. Does anyone want to talk about that? Otherwise, I know that Patrick and I can like wax poetic about this.
It's very cute.
It's very cute.
I know that a veces ellos le gustan dormir debajo de todo, so they like to tuck themselves in at night. So I think that's really funny because in the morning we get in pretty early y a veces pueden ver like a big dust cloud kind of come up and it's like, oh, los señoritas están listas para la día. And it's so funny to me. And I'm like, you had your coffee and I haven't yet. So it's just really fun to see them.
That's funny. Get to see them wake up ready for work, just like, all right, let's go. Let's.
And I'm like, you guys look way better than me right now.
Cool. All right, I've cleared our tabla. This numero uno. This is our chance. We're gonna win. Vamos.
No,
Come back
Número 5.
around.
Número 5. Time to shine.
Número tres, I'm sorry. I'm just so distracted. But I swear I'll get better. All right, I'm mixing.
Sí se puede. Sí se
Sí
puede.
se puede. All right. For the first card, we have el CACHIYUYO.
Ooh. Giant kelp.
Giant kelp.
Feeling good.
Thank you, Patrick.
Feeling
Now
good.
strong. Starting out strong, tabla number 6.
Yes.
All right, all
Número
right.
6.
I like that corner. I like that corner where we at right now.
Nice little corner.
All right. Well, we kind of already talked about the kelp a little earlier. So our next one is el roquete. So the rockfish, copper rockfish.
Ooh, copper rockfish coming up.
That's it. Number 5 is gonna win soon.
Let me see here.
And I know sometimes a lot of people, whenever they get to see rockfishes, they ask a veces like, ¿Qué está pasando con ese pez? Like, what's happening with that fish? And most of the time, it's just because they're just waiting and lingering for their food. So están esperando para comer.
So Curtis right now is
Son muy flojos.
Curtis right now is doing his best to find the copper rockfish that lives in this zone in the kelp forest. They are very territorial, the rockfish are. So you'll recognize it as the rockfish. We've got some blue rockfish there. It has the white stripe on its side, everybody. So once we spot it, we'll be...
I think Curtis almost had it there.
Oh, almost.
Although I am on a delay here too, so I'm sorry, Curtis.
There it is. I think it's
Yep.
right
There
in
it is.
front of
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. There it is.
Nice.
Woo!
Oh, I have a pun.
I might have...
It's right behind us.
Yeah, go for the pun. What's the
Go
pun?
for it,
the
Christy.
I
You
can
got-
help you, Curtis.
Ooh.
Oh yes.
Need some kelp.
Get the puns.
Oh, it looks like that one that we have there in the middle is a gopher rockfish there.
Oh no.
Hanging out.
close.
I just am seeing it. But the point being with rockfish is that there are many, many, many species and they all look very similar. And Karina, to your point, there are often visitors that are rather concerned about the rockfish pretending to be rocks very convincingly.
Very convincingly.
Oh yeah, you can see that yellowish lip of it.
Yeah, we got another gopher rockfish there in the
rockfish.
background.
You tricked us. You fooled us.
LD,
So relaxed.
any rockfish,
Yeah.
any rockfish puns or facts that you feel like sharing?
No puns at the moment. Maybe it'll come up, but I did do a lot of my undergrad looking at rockfish, particularly blue rockfish. So I do know that estos tipos de pez pasan mucho tiempo en diferentes lugares. Depending on the type of species of rockfish, they can allocate themselves throughout the water column. So some of the blue rockfish, as you see in the exhibit, like to hang out closer to the kelp, or like the gopher fish like to hang out closer to the bottom. So it really depends, and it's all about that. There's zonation, right? Les gusta no amontonarse encima de uno al otro, so they find space to go and rest.
Nice.
You
Yeah.
rock, LD.
You rock.
Oh,
Oh.
Yes, there you go.
Ooh,
You're
that
waiting
was
for it.
solid.
Oh.
Good job, everyone. Good job. I would say before I can say this pun, I have to say that the rockfish genus name is Sebastes, which means magnificent. So that pun was magnificent for
There you
whoever came up with it.
Nice.
So there.
Good
Um,
one.
Well, Patrick, that actually brings
Yes.
up a good question that we had over on YouTube. When we talk about these fish, obviously, you know, we're using their common names right now, both in English and in Espanol. Is it better for us to learn their common names or their scientific, their Latin names? Was a question that was brought up.
What do you think?
What's the poll here? The poll is
Yeah,
silent.
I
the poll
know.
of silence.
I think it depends on how much of a avid rockfish viewer you are. The scientific name comes really handy when you're reading about them, but when you're spotting them, the common name just rolls off the tongue better.
Yes.
hmm And as long as people know what you mean by the common name,
Mhm.
I think that common names are a great way to communicate about the animals that we're looking at on the screen.
Yeah.
Oftentimes they can be very descriptive, like rockfish. Looks like a rock. It's doing its best impression of a rock.
Yeah.
You know, that's a great way to interpret them is by using their common name.
Yeah.
And if you're, oh, go ahead.
no,
Patrick.
you please.
I was going to say that if you're really into that animal and you want to learn its Latin name, it might tell you a little bit more about the fish. And if you know Spanish, sometimes, you know, you can kind of tell with Latin names like what they mean. So in that way, it's helpful knowing some of the Latin names.
Yeah, that's a really great point.
Yeah, I would say just as and I'm sure everybody as you've learned more about these animals, sometimes I think it's important for people that are learning the names is to not get too attached to the scientific name or any of these names, because sometimes there's this taxonomist that comes out of left field that's been studying your favorite animal and finds out something new. We don't know everything about the ocean. And so sometimes there's a specific scientific name that means a lot to a lot of people, and then it changes, and then you're sad for a long time and can never forget the heartbreak of losing your best friend and your best scientific name. So just learn the names and then stay like friends with the name, because it might change, because you might be the one who figures out that it's a different species altogether.
Sounds personal, Patrick.
Sure.
You
I haven't
wanna
lost. No,
unpack this?
a local species of nudibranch, a beautiful Hopkins rose, they call it, used to be called Hopkinsia rosacea, and now it's just boring old Okinia rosacea. And those are the very specific arguments and rants that you'll have over dinners if you have biologist family. So just be aware out there, for those of you watching, if your kids are getting into marine science, they might come home really sad that a name changed. So just so you know. Anyway.
True. Well, I mean, and LD studying the blue rockfish, I mean, only recently was it discovered that we have both blue rockfish and deacon rockfish. So I mean, you have that personal connection there too now with the blue rockfish and their scientific names. You have to learn 2 names for them.
Yeah, and on the topic of studying some of these animals, as I said earlier, I'm not a big diver. So there was a lot of collaboration happening between people who go out and take the footage of and record the data of these animals, and then there's people that are back in the lab just running the statistics or writing up the paper. So whatever your interest is, it can really differ based on I mean, we're all passionate about the fish, but that's how you display that interest can be very different. That's why the names can differ based on what you're interested in.
Awesome. Well,
Good point.
that was a lot of information, but I need to reach out on behalf of Tabla Numero Uno, the future winners of this game, where I believe, Karina, you need to move us along towards victory here.
All right, victory here. So the next one is La Estrella.
Lotería!
No!
Yes! Woo! It happened. It happened. Let me just pull up my winning, and we did not plan this ahead of time. But I just want to point out, if we put us up here on screen, and I believe I yelled loud enough for what you were saying, because I definitely blasted my headphones just then. Look at us. Tabla numero uno. Look at us go. All down. Incredible. What a victory. Anybody else get a loteria on that one?
No, not this time around.
Tabla 5 was closed. We just needed the Garibaldi.
Oh, solo falta el D. ¿No? Tabla número... ¿Qué tabla?
Número 5. I'm the only one that hasn't won yet. Yeah.
Oh no.
Oh, LD, no. We might have to play one last round and just fudge some numbers here.
Hey,
Right.
here's a challenge. I wonder if we can come up with puns for in español.
In Espanol.
For those
Ooh,
names.
Ooh.
Right. Let's look at the names.
Let me think about it. Yeah, this is gonna be.
Well, normally I would say,
Well-
if you wanna do marine science, you got to aim for the moon jelly so you land amongst the sea stars. So I don't know if there's a translation there. Curtis does currently have there in the middle one of those bat stars there in between there. So great job, Curtis, finding a very well camouflaged bat star there in the background. But yeah, if anyone else has some puns here. I mean, LD, you're winning on the pun game at least.
We might
I
be
don't
tied.
have a pun, but a fun fact about the stars, the bat stars, is that they take out their stomach to eat. And so estas estrellas murciélagos sacan su estómago de su boca para poder comer su comida y después lo vuelven a retractar y empiezan a digerir la comida. They take it out, they take their stomach out, and then they retract it once they have the food and start eating it.
Yeah, that's a pretty. If you ever have a sea star over for dinner, you can just put the food in front of them. They'll take their stomach out, digest it, and swallow it. There's very little conversation. It's very polite if you think about it. It's a different Thanksgiving experience.
Pretty good. Yeah, it's always a nice view when you go into the exhibits and there's a sea star right there en el vidrio, en el espejo, and you get to see the underside, lo de abajo, and sometimes they are eating, and you can see the stomach like on their underside. Quite a sight.
Ujú. Y cómo se mueven con las patitas bien despacito.
Great. Look at us go.
I know.
I'm just so
to be
proud of.
trying.
Hey.
I'm so proud of us. Tabla número uno. I'm just.
Do we go again so we can try and
Let's
get
go
LDO
again.
in?
Let's fudge some
Yeah.
things for or
Yeah.
we don't have to fudge. We'll play another
Yeah,
round.
we'll play another round. While we get set up for this round, we had another great question over on our social channels there for all of our guests joining us today. How did you all get interested in marine biology, in conservation, in the aquarium, whatever you want to talk about right now? Should we go around? Who wants to choose? Karina, you choose. Who should go first? Yourself? Someone else?
Someone else. I've been talking so much. Oh my goodness. Let's start with Yasmin, because I met you when you were in TCL.
Yeah. So I started with the aquarium, as I said, in 2015 with the Teen Conservation Leaders. It's a student program that the education programs has. And that was going into my junior year of high school. I went to the aquarium for a field trip, and we learned about this program, and I decided to apply, and I loved it. I learned so much, and it's just so inspirational, and that's how it took me into the path of environmental studies and conservation, and just I've always loved the ocean, but never really was learning about it or being proactive about things that I could do. And so with the aquarium's education programs, I've been able to volunteer for many years, and also I worked 2 summers ago as a program assistant for Young Women in Science, and as I said, I'm currently interning. And so it's been with entering through the student programs, it's been really exciting. And although unfortunately we don't have those programs going on this summer, we do have some online courses, and we have that are going on so that students can still continue learning about the ocean. And we also have a Teams Can course for a little bit older students so that they can get going on action so they can help out the ocean. So I think Emily will go ahead and put in the link if any young people are interested. Yeah.
Absolutely. And just in the background of what you were talking about there, Yasmin, Curtis found the Copper Rockfish for everybody out there. So we found it. We found it. Good job, Curtis. Thank you, Yasmin, for sharing that. But just for the folks wondering, we found El Rocote. So, yeah.
Nice.
All right. Who'd like to share next?
Yasmin, you get to choose who goes next.
Christy.
All right. So I'm originally from Peru, and I grew up in a city in the Amazon region. So I, kind of grew up around nature a lot and outside. So I've always been drawn to nature. And I came to this country when I was 13 years old, to New York City. And then when it was time to pick, a career, I picked conservation. I think it was always in me. I always loved nature. So and then ever since, worked in different places, including the Bronx Zoo in New York, teaching, and also doing conservation work for the California condor. That was really fun. And now I'm at the aquarium, and I just really, love being here and being in this community. And just learning and enjoying the journey in conservation.
Awesome. So who's next?
LD.
Yeah, everyone. Again, who's David? I'm originally from Michoacan, Mexico. Got any Mexicanos out there? Yeah. And actually, I just want to share a fun fact. When I was little, I used to go to these fairs in my little town, and they used to play Lotería, but not with cards. They would have the tablas under glass screens, and the people at the fair would have dice that had the cards on them. So they would throw the dice, and wherever your beans were located, if you had landed on some of those kind of like backwards bingo, you would end up like betting maybe like a quarter, and in Mexican it's pesos, and uh, you would maybe win some money back. So it was a bit of a gamble, but that was a lot of fun. The reason I was interested in ocean conservation and marine sciences was actually because when I moved from Mexico, I landed here in the Bay Area, and um, first thing I saw was the ocean. It was amazing. Came to the aquarium that same summer, and I was awestruck. So from there on, I just decided, hey, I'm gonna pursue this. Um, just like Yasmin, I started with some of those teen programs that the aquarium offers. Worked my way up the ladder. Ended up working on the floor. Finished school, and then started working for the education department. So I've been I've done quite a few things throughout the aquarium, and now I want to share a couple of the things that we've been working on. I think Emily have already posted some of those links. We have curriculum that you can do at home with different age ranges. We have K through 12 courses that are self-paced, so you can go in and do the courses at your own time with your students. So yeah, I recommend you check that out. Also, one of our teen programs that is going on throughout the summer is our social media track. And if you all want to follow that, it's the Monterey Bay AQ Teens. Spell that out. And recommend checking what some of the younger folks are doing in service or ocean conservation.
Awesome.
And Karina.
Hi. So my family is from Costa Rica, so pura vida todos mis ticos. And I grew up in the Los Angeles area, and when I moved up north for college, well, when I was younger, I would always visit an aquarium down south, and I would just go there pretty much almost every weekend, and I would take my nephew with me, and just I fell in love with the ocean and just seeing the way that people were interpreting, and just the vast knowledge that everyone had was so awesome and eye-opening to me, because we connected through the ocean. Then and there, we had made so many connections with all the staff down there. And then when I moved up north, I knew I really wanted to work at an aquarium, and I wanted to make sure that where I was going was conservation as well as environmental policy. So I'm still in school for environmental policy, and I got introduced to the aquarium by a job fair. I started working on the floor as one of our admission staff members, or I guess experienced representatives. And then from there, I had little tidbits of jobs of presenting bilingual programs, and then an amazing opportunity happened where I got to work with our guest support services team and really bring my knowledge that I had of all of the different chemicals and things that we use here, so that we can just continue on to being very eco-friendly and making sure conservation is always top of mind, and just bringing it to all parts of the aquarium is really nice. So that's how I started here at the aquarium. So really, best opportunity I had was just working my way and loving the fact that everyone around me, and Emily helped me a lot too when I first started with all of my presentations that I got to do around the aquarium.
I feel like I've known many of you for a very long time, whether it's through the Teen Conservation Leader Program or from guest experience, and seeing you and hanging out and getting to be your friends. So
yeah.
it's fun to be able to play a socially distanced Loteria game with all of you right now.
Yeah, that it's been so great. And yeah, for everybody that is watching all across the chat, those links to everything that has been mentioned there, from TCL to teen programs on social media and all that. Those are in the chats on the various websites out there right now: YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Twitch. So I think we've been going for an hour. Can you believe it? It's been an hour, but I would like to posit that we should do another quick round, and this is winner takes the Lotería. What do we think? What do we think? We're resetting.
Right.
Back to
number
the
5. Here we go.
Todavía se puede. Todavía se puede.
So we got. Oh, Karina's gone. Oh, she's back. Okay.
I'm back.
Ta-da!
I dropped some of
She
my
did.
cards.
She did a hard reset. This is Karina number 2. Okay.
All right. Everyone's tabla is clear. Everyone's ready to go. All right. I dropped another one, but then that one will be our lucky one. Is La Estrella. So the bat star.
La Estrella.
We got Lotería for the last group.
Okay.
All right.
Feeling pretty good. Feeling pretty good.
All right.
1 out of 9.
All right. So we have El Tiburón, Leopardo, the Leopard Shark.
This
is looking good.
Oh,
right.
come on, Garibaldi.
Good for tabla number
La
6.
jaqueta.
Tabla número 6. Here we go.
Just need a little kelp. We just
El
need a
El
rocote.
Cachillo.
No!
Let's go! Lotería!
Lotería.
Por fin.
Por
What?
fin. Ay,
Luis,
ay.
really? Really?
Really?
Amazing.
Exactly.
Wow.
Oh,
My
it's
beans
upside.
in there. There you
Oh
go.
my goodness.
Te llevaste el premio.
I had to, you know.
Sorry, tabla número 1, I let us down.
Hey.
Oh.
Way to
Good
go.
job.
Bravo. Bravo, everybody.
Good game. Good game.
Great games, yeah.
Amazing. All right. Well, I don't know if we have any. Yeah, go for it, Emily.
Yeah, I was just gonna check in with our guests today and see if they had any advice. I know that all of you were just telling these amazing stories of how you became conservation leaders at the aquarium and in your own lives. If you have any advice for any young people out there who may be interested in getting into the marine sciences and conservation, what's a short bit of advice that you might give someone today?
First.
Yeah.
Who wants to go?
I would say, continue feeding your curiosity for nature, for the ocean, for the environment, and, just continue learning and keep finding and looking for those opportunities that feed your curiosity. And I think that will, open doors. And yeah, I that's the main thing for me. Stay curious.
That's good advice right there. Yep. And that's for people of all ages. Stay curious.
Yeah.
I guess my advice, and not just to young people, but again, just the audience in general, is grab opportunities as they come. I was lucky enough to see an opportunity at the aquarium and grab it. But who knows, if I had had an opportunity at, say, a zoo or an opportunity during college, I probably would have said, like, why not, and gone for it as well. So whatever you're passionate about, if it's what piques your interest, just go ahead and do it. What's the worst that can happen? You end up not liking it and you go try something else. So just keep on trying new things.
Awesome.
Yasmin, Karina, any advice?
Yeah, I was also just thinking of taking all the opportunities that you can have, and also finding examples of inspirational people or mentors. I think for me, having mentors was really big, and just my aquarium journey, my conservation journey, and just like college and school too. So looking for those people that can really support you. Buscando mentores para que te ayuden a guiarte en el camino es muy importante y ayuda bastante. Y, I don't think I would be where I am without all the mentors that I've had.
Awesome.
Yeah, I would say the same about all of the mentors that I've had just in my span here at the aquarium, but just overall. And I think it's big to recuerden que tienen un voz en todo lo que están haciendo, and you also all lead the charge on where things go. So I think, especially when we're talking about conservation, we really try our best to speak out and make sure that we are leading the cause, but just remembering that que tienen un voz, que pueden mantener el océano and all of that. So I think it's really important just to remember that we all have a big part to play in what's going on in our world.
Mhm.
No matter how young or old.
Yep.
Happy Latino Conservation Week, guys.
Yeah.
Happy Latino Conservation Week. Lotería. We did it.
Lotería y pura vida.
Pura vida, pura vida.
And I mean, we're
Thank you guys.
yeah. And thank
Gracias a
all of
todos.
you for being here. We're so fortunate to have amazing people like you working at the aquarium, and I hope that you know what amazing mentors that all of you are as well to so many people. That I know that many of you are thanking some of your mentors, but you have been mentors for so many young folks as well, and so many people like Patrick and I look up to many of you too. So
Absolutely.
thank you all for hanging out with us on social today and playing some Lotería.
That was so fun.
Thank
It
you
was
for
so
organizing
fun.
this. It was a lot of fun.
I know, it was so
Thank you,
fun.
guys.
Till next
That's
time.
awesome.
Yes. Look forward to the next one.
Adios,
Chévere.
ciao.
Bye, everybody. Thank you.
Ciao.
Adios.